Graphic design is not hard. All right, graphic design is easy, but you find it easy when you understand the language. So if you understand the language, you find graphic design easy. Every design element have when to use them. You don't just use design elements because you don't want the project to be empty. No, you use it because the information of the project calls for it. Use of the element is what help the principle of design. If the elements are not there, the principle of design cannot work. All right. So you have to make sure you make the elements and the principles of design work together. All right. It's like when I point at you now and not say anything. You know, when I do this, simply means you. So my hand is the element, while the language of what this means is the principle. So you need to understand the elements and then use it to create what the principle would explain to your viewers or your audience. All right. So let's go straight to the purpose of today's meeting. All right. All right, so this is the design that Isaac sent to me, and recreating this, and I'm going to share what I think is best for a project like this. And I believe before the end of this training, you guys are going to learn so many things that you can apply to your to projects like this whenever you receive it from your clients. Okay. So now Isaac is saying that the reason why he decided to make the design look the way it is now, like the layout, the reason why he decided to use this layout is because the content on the project is much. Now, this is my solution here before I get to the redesigning of this. Now, guys, first up, right, one of the ways we draw attention to our project is the use of illustration. Now, it's not every time you use illustration on your design project, but if you are not going to use illustration on your design project, your text should create the illustration. It should be something different from every other element that you place on the design. That is one of the ways you can draw people's attention to your project, because the purpose of us working on design project is to capture people's attention, is to stop them and make them want to read what we have on the design project. All right, so let's go straight to the redesigning of this. And I noticed that the paper size that Isaac used here is the A5 paper size. I don't know if international people also use A5, but here in my country, we use A5 for our flyer designs. So I'm going to be using A5 today, and I'm going to show you guys how to simplify the content on your project using the right layout. All right, so first off, I'm going to create a new document. So I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to select New. All right. So here on Photoshop, if this is the first time of making this move, I would advise you to go straight to Print. All right. If this is the first time you're launching Photoshop, first make sure you're on the Print tab here and look for A5. So this is A5 right here, and I'm going to call this, let's just call it Flyer. All right. And I'm going to leave every other settings the way they are, and I'm going to click on the Create button. Now, I decided to use this portrait frame size because the information here is much, but it's not much to the point where it can't fit the portrait frame size. Now, most time when you have too many details, too many content on your project, it's always good to use the landscape frame size. I know so many of you don't know this. The reason why we use landscape and portrait is when we take our time to understand the quantity of content that we are placing on our design project. So if the content on the design is so much that you believe that, well, the portrait frame size can't fit the portrait frame size, then you go to the landscape frame, because landscape frame takes more content than the portrait frame. Then the other thing I want to say to you here, which I noticed Isaac did not do well here, is I know Isaac is trying to find ways to make every information on the design visible. You understand? It's trying to make it visible. But I want you to know that when working on print projects, all right, your font size should not be too big. Like they shouldn't be too big. Why? Because print project most time when you use small font size, you know, people are holding the hard copy. They can move it close to their eye. I'm talking of the people with glasses now. They can move it close to their eye and they will be able to see the information on the project. But why we always make use of bold font, bold type most time is when we know the project is for social media. You know, people can move their face close to their phone and then start reading the information on our design. But at times, it's always affect the light from the phone affects some people's sight. All right. Now, some people understand the secret of zooming in. Now, some people don't. So you have to make sure you make the project stand between the people with glasses and people without glasses. All right. So since this is a print project, I'm sure by the time they print this project, all these details that all the information that Isaac placed on this project are going to come out very big and bold because the information on your screen, the design on your screen don't always look bigger like when they print it. All right. Now, I'm going to show you the font size like this because I know so many of us fight with knowing the right font size when working on print projects. There are some font size that when you place them on when you use them on your design project, after print, they come out nice. They come out better. All right. So I'm going to show you that today. So yeah, I'm going to go to straight to my document here now. And one of the ways we, simplify our project is the use of grid. And Isaac, I need you to listen to this. Grid is one of the ways we help simplify the information on our project. When our project lack grid, is going to make the page look too full. The use of grid is not different from the way you have the bone, the skeleton in your body. If you don't have skeleton in your body, you'll notice your body is just going to look somehow. All right. And that's the same thing that happens when we don't put grid in our design project. In our design project. The grid is like the skeleton of our design. We're going to be using 5 columns to achieve this project. All right. Now, see, it's already on 5 column grid here. Now, most of the time I use high number of grid is when I notice I have, lots of information on my design project. So because I have, the information on this design is much, and I want to be able to make the information visible to all my viewers, so I'm going to be using 5 column and the gutter, which is the space between my grid here. Now, this space here are called gutter. All right. There's another name for it, but here in Photoshop it's called gutter. Okay. So I'm going to be making that 35. All right. Then my margin, which is the space around my frame here. All right. I'm making that 95. Okay. Then the advantage of you having the margin is, most time when we do print project like that, and we take it to the people that normally train us, there are times where they make mistake of trimming it close to the information on the design. The use of margin help with not making us lose the information on the project. Like when they make the mistake, it help us not losing the information on. All right, and that's the reason for you to have margin on your. So I'm going to click on the create button. I'm going to click on the OK button, not create. Then I'm going to create a new layer. That is what I do. All right, before arranging my elements. All right, I'm a fan of drawing, how I want my project to work. Here, all right, I'm going to have a frame here. All right, and the reason why I'm going to make this frame cover all the columns I have here is because the information I plan to place here is what I plan to use to draw my viewers' attention. All right, so it's better I use. Sorry, nothing like this. All right, so it's better I do it this way so it can draw attention. So this is where I plan to put my illustration, and I'm going to place my title here. All right. I title to be somewhere here, or better still, I can even extend it to this side like that. All right, and move it close to this. So this can move up a bit, and this can just go right here. All right, because most time when we start placing elements on our design without doing this, it always make us spend time working on the project, and at the end of the day, we end up coming up with something that is not, really okay. So yeah, then I'm going to make a copy of this again. All right, then we have another copy now, so I'm going to move this here. All right, and this can be smaller like that. All right, so let's start placing our elements. So I'm going to delete this down, and I'm going to start with the logo. All right, I'm going to start with the logo. So I have the logo here. I'm going to drag that and drop somewhere here. Now, the reason why I'm placing the logo here is because, most time it's always good to have the logo on the upper part of your frame. Now, you can place the logo anywhere, but most brands always prefer to have their logo at the top. So if the client say, well, you can place the logo anywhere, then you can now do that. But if they did not, all right, please don't put the logo at the bottom of the project. Okay, so this is going to be here, and I'm going to hide this because I already placed the logo. Yeah, then I'm going to move this down a bit because actually I still want to push this down. No, this is fine. Let's push it down here. All right, now I am going to go to where I have a text type, so I'm going to copy that. Okay, let's just start with the name of the brand. All right, the brand name. I noticed there's something Isaac did on his design, which I think is not professional. All right, there's something he did on his design that I think is not really professional. Please, guys, stop placing venue under the name of any brand. It's not professional. All right, please don't be placing venue next to the name of any brand. It's always good for the name of the brand to be able to stand on its own. You placing the venue close to it is going to look like the name is also part of the. I mean, the venue is also part of the logo or the name of the brand. So please avoid this. All right. So I'm saying this now because I'm not going to do what Isaac did. So I'm going to pick the color from here. All right, and hit the OK button. Then I'm going to be using. Let's use Futura because Futura is one of the font that I believe always come up nice when you use it for print projects. All right, so I'm going to make this cap, and I'm going to make the size smaller like that, and then I'll break this. I'm a fan of making names come in two lines. All right, so I'm going to push this up like that. All right, then I'm going to make this smaller like that. Position it here. All right. Then the next thing we're going to do is to put our title. All right, I'm going to copy the title now. And then I'm going to paste this here, still on the same font. Then I'm going to hit the enter key, and I'm looking for where I'm going to break it again. Yeah, so I'm going to break it here again and activate the free transform and make this real big. And this is going to start from here, and I'm going to move this back. All right, so the space between my rows here is much, so I'm going to close the space a bit, and the space between the letters, I'm just going to adjust that just a bit like that. And I'm going to activate the free transform on this again and make this real big like that. All right, now you see that my text did not fill the box that I drew here. It doesn't mean I'm not doing the right thing. All right, it's another way of even helping my project to look simple. So then I'm going to take this out. No, not that. not that. It should be this. Yep. Let's just pull the space a bit more. All right, let's go to space a bit more because most time when we have bold type like that, all right, when we have bold title like this on our projects, it's not always people also have too many space between the the rows. All right, it's going to make it look like something is missing. All right, that's that. Then the other thing I'm going to copy right now is the I'm going to call it the rider. All right, so I'm going to draw a text frame. Right, I'm going to draw the text frame. Now, guys, take note of all the fonts I'm using on this project here. These are fonts that when you use them for your print project, they come out nice. Something different from Futura. I have a good one. I always do that. All right, because there's also the part of you combining your text. All right, so I'm going to use let's use book. Yeah, and I'm going to turn out here like that, and I'm going to add space between the rows, then take the space between the all right, then I'm going to move this down and activate the freeze transform and move this in of this like that. All right, now because I don't want to create too many contrasts, too many contrasts in graphic design is not always nice. All right, so I'm going to make this a bold. All right, yeah, that's for that. Now, then I'm going to take this out. All right, now see, guys, I said this before that the grid is not a prison. Notice I drew those boxes because I want to place my elements on them. And you notice that my elements are not really fitting the size of the box. It doesn't mean I'm not doing the right thing. They are just there to help me know how I'm going to arrange my content. All right, so I'm going to move this down a bit because I really need to create that separation between these two. All right, so that's too much. Okay, so make sure your content are well aligned, and I'm going to hit Ctrl H on my keyboard to activate the guide again and move this down a bit like that. All right, so let's copy the other text, which I'm going to call the body text. All right, I call it the body text. So I'm going to hide this, all right, and draw text frame like that here. Okay, and paste this. Okay, then I'm gonna hit Ctrl A. Now, Futura is not good for body text. I'm talking of body copy, so don't use it for body copy because I know so many creatives don't know this. I know so many people don't know that there are some texts that are not good for body copies. Like check all the fonts, check the fonts you have on your PC, see the ones that are good for lengthy text and the ones that are not good for lengthy text. So let's just call it body copy. All right, it's actually body copy, not lengthy text. All right, so I'm going to use the same font that I used here, which is the Federal. All right, okay, let's use the book. And I'm going to turn off cap and change the size of this to, so any size between 11 and 12 here should come out better for print. All right, if I even 10 can come out, depending on the fonts. All right, depending on the font that you use. So 10 can still come out better when you print. All right, when the project is printed. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see what's going on here. I know that's a text that I needed here. See that? Did I just click it once? See that? I mistakenly placed the text twice. All right, so I'm going to move everything up again because I think I am close to the bottom part of my frame here. So I'm going to take this out and move this up like that and move this down a bit. Like that, and matrix and even now you see the way I'm trying to simplify my project here. See, there's the part of you still going back to your layout and start changing things so your project can look simple. All right, please, because I know so many of you think, okay, since I have all my layouts set, there's only for me going back again and start tweaking things. No, you still need to go back and start tweaking it to look the way you believe is better for the project. Now, There's another information here that I think is important that needs to draw people's attention to want to read every other information on the project. So how I'm going to do this is I'm not going to make this too bold. I'm just going to use um, book italics here, or let's just use medium italics and change the color of this to red. Now the reason I'm using red here now is because the font size is small. All right. And I really want to call attention to it. Red is one very good color that I believe that, in fact, not even I believe that most of we creatives always use to draw information to the important parts on our project. See the information on the project clearly. All right. So then I'm going to make this cap. All right. Why? And now the reason I'm making this cap is because I know that making it sentence case is going to make me have too many white space here. All right. So I decided to make it cap so it can help occupy the space. I really want to make people find it easy to see what is here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to complete this. Now, see, guys, there's this part of you also completing or fixing or adding to the information that you are given from the clients. Now, I'm not saying you should now change the article. No, there are some simple info that you need to complete to help your layout, and there are times where you need to take out to help your layout. All right, so here I noticed that the venue here is looking too big. All right, so that's the reason why I decided to add to complete the opposite text. So we have 76 Epidway Road, opposite civil defense always. Yeah. Then what else? So I'm going to add venue here because I really want people to know that the venue is actually here. All right. So I am going to make this bold. Now, see, guys, why I'm adding the word venue there is because this body copy here, all right, is going to make people think the venue here is also part of the article. All right. So I decided to create that separation by adding the word venue and making it bold. All right. So when they see the bold text, they know, okay, something has happened here. There's something different that happened here. And then they know that, okay, this is the venue. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Now you see my text is going outside of the frame. So what I'm going to do to fix that is to take out this call text. All right. Now remember, I told you guys that there are times where we need to take out and also to add. So because this is a phone number, I'm going to make that also bold because I really want to help my viewers quickly see the contacts. All right. So I'm going to activate the free transform on this and make this, customized guide here. All right, that's good. So then I'm going to draw a rule here. All right, it's actually for rules in design. Create that, separation more. Now, listen, guys, you notice every move I make on my design, I tell you reason why I'm making those moves. You don't just place elements on your design without any reason. All right, don't place elements on your design without any reason. And that's why I'm telling you why I'm making all the move I'm making here. So I really want to create that separation more. All right. So that's the reason why I'm going to add a rule here to create that separation. So people know that, okay, the information here is actually different from what we have here. So I'm going to move this down a bit. Okay. Then this and this should go down. There's another thing I want you guys to pay attention. Notice the way I'm allowing space between my my information here. All right, because the use of the space is to help your readers relax. When they see space, it makes them pause. But when there's no space, it makes it look like everything is shouting, like everything on the project is trying to chase them away. Okay, so that's the reason I'm having all this space here, so as to help the my viewers find that space to rest when they are looking at the information on the project. Okay, or when they are trying to access the information on the project. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger, make it touch this. All right, like that. Now, this here is where I'm going to put the social media handles. All right, so I'll copy that and I'm going to paste that somewhere here. Now, notice this. I'm going to make sure this align with this. All right. So I'm going to paste this like that and hit Control A and pick a color from here. Then I'm going to make this smaller. Now this should be around 8. All right. Let's make it 7. Let's just make it 7. All right. Since it's the social media handle, so we can make it 7 or 8. So I'm going to move this down. All right. And I'm going to move this down. Then this should go down. All right. Let's make it 8. All right. Let's just make it 8. Beautiful. So I'm going to close the space between the rows like that. And I'm going to make this, let's make this regular. Yeah. And this should also be regular. All right. And this should also be regular. Now, there's something called reputation in design. All right. Now, the use of reputation most times in design is to uh, help our viewers know, okay, any information on my design project that you see that carries similar style, I want you to see them as one group. I want you to see them as one family. So when people see the social media name here, and then they now see that the text under it is not as bold as the name of the social media, they know that the information we need from that side of proxy are the information that belong to the brand. And that's the reason why I decided to make this, this small like that. If the space between your elements are not much, and then you now have one big space, all right, separating your element, and you now place any element or any information where you have space, that information is going to call for, it's going to call attention. It's going to call for more attention no matter how small you make it, because the space around it alone is enough for people to know that there's something there. But when it's too close to other every information that is big and bold on your project, it's not going to, it will be difficult for people to see it. So I'm going to copy the dates now. All right, and hit Control C here. Okay, and I'm going to draw a box. Okay, I'm going to draw a box here. Now, the reason why I'm using a box here is because I have this shape here in form of a box, so I want to repeat the same shape again. All right, so I'm going to activate the free transform and move this up here and make a copy of this and move this down here. So the idea is to make this look like a bot, because I don't want people to miss the dates. All right, I don't want the people to miss the date of the deadline, because there's a word called deadline there. You know, I told you guys that before working on any design project, try see how you can play with how you want your viewers to access the information on the project. And that's the reason why I'm making this red, and this should be green like that. And I'm going to paste the text now. All right, I'm going to use Futura here because I don't want this to carry weights. All right, I'm going to use Futura, make it cap. Sorry, I'm not really a fan of writing my dates this way. It's always affecting my layout. So I'm going to move this here and take out the ST space. Yeah, I like it this way. So then this should be here, and it should be above this. Then I'm going to change the color of this to white. All right, and I'm going to close the space. No, that's too much. Like that. I'm gonna hit the Control T here to activate the free transform like that, and move this here. Move this here. Oh, you know what? Let's just move it in a bit more, because too much of space most time is not always good. All right. Too much of space is not always good, because I noticed if I did not push that in like that, I'm going to have too much space on this side of the frame. All right, then the text deadline. So I am going to paste that, paste it. Okay, I'm gonna paste it here, make it bigger like that. Um, Deadline for filling form. No, let's just change this to, because see, this is not okay. All right, this is not okay. It should be form deadline. All right, it should be form deadline. I'm sure your client will not say no to this. Let's just move this to this side here. I prepare the picture, so I might make it bigger like that. Beautiful. All right, now let's put our illustration. So first, I'm going to change the color of this to green like that, and I'm going to drag my image in. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to hold down Alt and place my mouse in between the two layers and click to clip the image inside the shape. And I'm going to go to my blend mode here and choose luminosity. Now, the reason why I'm using this color here is because the project is looking too bright. It's looking too white. So I want to reduce the strength of the white on the project. And that's the reason why I decided to apply the touch of green to my illustration here to reduce the white color on my project here. All right. Now, this is going to serve as my first option, and I'm going to, you know what? There's another thing I think we should do again before I go here. Let's just play with the background a bit. I'm going to draw a shape here, and I'm going to change this to green and make this no fill and change the stroke width here to 145. Yeah, beautiful. So I'm going to make this smaller like that because I really, one of part of how we play in graphic design is, repeating of elements to create pattern in our design project. So I'm going to reduce the opacity of this like that and position this somewhere here. And I'm going to make a copy of the same shape again and move this here. We can even make a copy again and move this, somewhere here to create that font. All right. So here, I'm going to stop here on this and I'm going to delete all of this like that. All right. Because I'm about to go straight to the second option because it's always good to give two options whenever you're sending your designs out to your clients. So I'm going to put G to put this in a group and make a copy of this group right here. Then I'm going to call this option 1, right? And this is going to be option. All right. So I'm sure you guys are ready to see what the second option is going to look like. So I'm going to hide the option 1 and open the group of the option 2 here now. And I'm going to, right now, I think, okay, you know what we're going to do? So I'm going to just move this. All right. I'm thinking of hiding everything so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to hide everything here and this and turn this off. This should come right here like that. Let's see, this can be, this can still remain here. All right. For the social media, the content can still remain there. All right. Now, when you are making your second option, don't head yourself by now changing the look of the entire project. No. The making of the second option is not for you to now change the entire project. No, just for you to see, just tweak the first option a bit, and you're gonna have the second option. That's what I do, and it's really working for me. There are times where my clients will say, you know what, we're gonna pay for the two. All right, so I'm teaching you part of one of the things that I do here. All right, so I'm going to move this up here, activate the guide here, and this should be here like that. For my social media, let's just leave the social media where it is. So for my title, the logo can still remain where we have it. So we can still have the logo where we have it. Then what else can we tweak here? Okay, so this can now go with this. All right, always make sure that these two go together. So activate the free transform here now, and this should go down a bit like that. All right. And for this, I'm going to move it down a bit like that. All right. Okay, so let's draw a shape here, right? Let's draw a shape here, and I'm going to make this green like that. Let's make this white here so we can see the text color. Yep. And for the social media, let's make that white. For the venue and the inquiry text, let's make it white. Let's move this next to the name of the brand like that. Deadline can be here. All right. So this part here, what I do most of the time is I just play. All right. I just play, but but my playing is not now going outside of the the guides here. All right. I still maintain my guide, but I just move things around. Now the reason why it's also easy for me to do this is because I have my guide. All right. Your guides help you with moving things around, and everything will still look perfect. All right. So I'm going to move this down like that. Okay. And this should go down a bit more. I'm going to move this down like that. All right. And I'm going to put this in a group by hitting Control G down. Okay. So I'm going to hold down Control and click on the thumbnail of the shape that I drew here. And I'm going to add elements. I click Control I to reverse the mask like that. Then I'm going to tone this down because I'm a fan of depth. All right. I like, quick depth on my project. So I'm going to hit Control H to hide the guide. And I'm going to just, create a part here because I didn't want to cut this out from, I want to cut this out from the shape. All right. Yeah, like that. So I'm going to hit Control Enter to convert this to a marquee here. Then I'm going to make sure I'm on the thumbnail of the group and hit Alt Backspace. We need to increase this. Then if I hit Control D now, you see we have this. All right, so it looks like the pen is pointing at the information we have here. Then I'm going to change this back to normal because we already have this solid green here. Now, I still need to create more separation here, all right? So I'm going to double click on the who can pay the tax text like that. And I'm going to change this to this color here, right? Like that. Can even make it a bit brighter, like that. All right. Yeah, it's making sense now. Okay. So we're having too many boxes here, all right? And I really want to create more contrast, like making more attention beyond this information here. So I am going to use another shape outside of the shape we have here because that's another way you create contrast in graphic design. So I'm going to just draw a shape here, but this time I'm not going to use a rectangle shape. I'm going to use an ellipse tool here to just draw a shape right here. All right, because we have the rectangle shape here, we have rectangle shape here. So I want to create contrast here, and that's why I'm using an ellipse shape. All right, so I'm going to change this to red, and I'm going to turn off the color of my field here, 8. All right, beautiful. All right, then I'm going to change my text color here to the same red. All right, I'm using the same red there, and I'm going to centralize this, then turn this off because we don't need it again. All right, so this is going to be here, and I'm going to change this to the same color here. Let's activate our guide now, and let's see if this is on the, if we have this on the same, oops, what's going on? Let's see if we have this aligned to this. So I'm going to move this down like that and activate the free transform, and this should touch here like that. All right. This, I think I need to just move this up a bit. For this, I'm seeing something I need to fix there. There's something I need to fix here because, like I always say to you guys, you don't just use the illustration or the image when you receive it from the internet. All right. So I'm going to take this out because I'm sure the years confuse the people. All right. So I'm using the sports healing tool to do that. All right. Yeah. So this is it. So I'm going to hit Control H now and hide this. Sorry. Okay. So this is not in the group. All right. What's going on? Okay. You know what? Let's just put the two together in a group. All right. So this is going to be my second option. All right. So it's option 2 here. So this is option one, and this is option 2. Before sending your designs to your clients, always make sure you check if everything right. Um, the alignment of the logo here is not okay. Right? So I have to come back and fix it. So please, before sending your designs out, please go from check what's right on the project and what is not right before you send the design out to your. All right. So I'm going to stop here, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's training. I hope you enjoyed the training, and if you have not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button because I'm going to be doing more of this for you guys. So in order for you not to miss anything, all right, in order for you not to miss this training, please hit the subscribe button, and thank you again for watching. All right, yeah, that's it. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.